Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scared Soldier bringing you another Borderlands 3 video, and in today's video we got another Moze build for you guys, and this time we are using the DLC 2 Sapper class mod, the newest class mod for Moze in the game, and this class mod allows us to gain 12% lifesteal the longer she shoots. So essentially what you're going to want to have is this anointment on all of your weapons. You're going to want to have, after exiting Iron Bear, the next two magazines will give 125% bonus incendiary damage. That is a lot of damage added to some of the guns in the game that already do a lot of damage. So you're always going to have this anointment active as long as you spec into the tree that I'm going to show you in a second. But again, you have two magazines with the capabilities that Moze has to never reload and constantly regen ammo. Those two magazines will literally last the whole duration of whatever you guys are doing, whether it be the takedown, proving grounds, or slaughter shaft, because this is a mobbing build. You guys will constantly doing maximum damage. For those who also know Zane has that sentinel active, gain 100% cryo damage. So this is very similar to the fact that you're getting 125% elemental damage. It's just in a different way. You got to exit out of your Iron Bear, but nonetheless this is going to last forever. You can also have some Kids Worse on you with that same anointment. You can have the Butcher on. You can also throw on the Soul Render, the Hyper Focus right here. You can have the Insider. It's a very good shotgun. I definitely recommend that. And also you can throw on a Recursion. But the most important thing is that anointment. The shield we are using is the multivitamin banded Sidorak. This is going to allow us to recharge our shield instantly, so it's kind of like you have a permanent recharger on, and I'm going to explain how that synergizes super well with one of the capstones in Moze's red tree. We have our Sapper. Do not have the rolls that I have. I repeat, do not have these rolls. These are absolutely garbage. Try to find rolls that give you extra SMG damage, shotgun damage, splash damage, things of that nature. That's going to go a little bit further for you guys. The artifact I have is the Pearl. This is great because I'm constantly regenerating ammo, so I'm always shooting with Moze, so it's very easy to keep my consecutive hits up, and this gives me basically 115% extra gun damage. Not to mention this gives me another 50% mag size bonus and fire rate. The grenade I'm using is the Cloning Matting Tracker, because if ever I do decide to use the consecutive hit anointment on some of my weapons, this is going to help me get those consecutive anointment bonuses up faster, because it spawns multiple grenades dealing a lot of dots, which is good for consecutive hit anointments. And if you guys don't really care, you can also throw on a piss, because this is going to help you debuff enemies and do a lot of damage. But those are the main grenades I like to use. Here's the skill tree now. This is where it gets a little more juicy. So we didn't spec anything into Demolition Woman. It was not necessary. This is not a splash build, so we kind of avoided that tree. The most important tree is the green tree. So the Sapper does not offer, if you guys notice, any points into Retribution. So we only have 1 point in here, which is not enough to basically have infinite ammo. So what we needed to do was spec a little deeper into the tree till we got to the capstone forged. And we basically have infinite ammo with this setup here. And we also get some more mag size. We get some more incendiary damage. And we're pretty much a beast. And also, for those who like to use Iron Bear, you can definitely use Iron Bear, because you will get the Specialist Bear, which gives you another 60% damage with using the two weapons. So this is cool. And Iron Bear is also nice if ever you are in a tricky situation. You can pull them out. You get some of that survivability going. So definitely, it's definitely worth your while. Lastly, we go into the red tree where it all gets all nice over there. So let's go over there. So again, we picked up some more gun damage and incendiary damage, of course, but the most important thing, like I was talking about before, is the red capstone called the Tenacious Defense. And this essentially works really well with the Sidorak, because when your shield gets depleted, you basically get 40% max shield right back. So you get right back 40% shield. And when your shield becomes full, you get 30% extra gun damage for 30 seconds. Now, why that is super good with the Sidorak is because the Sidorak is basically always insta-fills itself, because it's such a high capacity in terms of the recharge rate compared to the actual capacity of the shield. So you see 1,000 capacity versus the recharge rate. So when it is done with the recharge delay, and it has to recharge, the shield is instantly filled back up to full. So it's very easy to keep your shield full. Therefore, you will always have the bonus of 30% gun damage much more often than if you had a big shield of like 60, 70, 80,000 capacity, because those shields take quite long to refill, especially when you're in a lot of mobbing situations like the Proving Grounds, Slaughter Shaft, the Maliwan takedown. You're constantly taking damage, so your shield has a hard time staying full. Therefore, you won't always get this bonus for 30 seconds, but with the Sidorak, have no fear, you will always have that 30% bonus damage, and our survivability is coming from our sapper anyway, not really from our shield, so it's just really a bonus. So that's pretty much it for the build, guys. If you guys enjoyed the build and all my explanation, please leave a like down below and definitely subscribe to the channel, guys. We post a lot of awesome builds on our channel, so definitely subscribe so you do not miss a video. Now, without further ado, let's get into some gameplay and see how this build does. We are in the Slaughter Shaft 3000 and we have the Butcher equipped with the consecutive hits anointment. So we're starting off with that just to show you guys that this is also a viable anointment to use on some of your weapons if you do not have the 125 ASE anointment that I've been talking about earlier, which is definitely the best anointment for this build. But the thing I want to highlight, if you guys see down below, if you guys take a look at my health and my shield, is that it basically stays full quite often, and I have complete survivability in all situations with the setup. Now again, if you do like to use Iron Bear and things like that, I'm sorry guys, this build's not really for Iron Bear, but you know, you might see one in the future. But nonetheless, this is more of a run and gun Moze type of setup over here, and you see right away my health is constantly staying full. I can get up in the enemy's faces and I do not have to spam grenades in order to stay alive. Now, as long as I'm shooting the enemies with my high amount of damage on my weapons, I will never ever die, which is really awesome, and that is why we chose to use this setup here. I found that the playstyle of spamming grenades all the time got a little old, and I wanted to just kind of focus on doing damage to enemies. That is where the idea of this build came from. Now, the most important things you guys want to know when you're dealing with this kind of build is that you have to keep shooting at the enemies when you're in a high contact situation. So if there's a lot of enemies around you, then make sure you're shooting. So you see right here, we got into Iron Bear and we exited, so that is going to give our next two mags 125% bonus damage, and you see we are just going at it right here, doing plenty of damage to the enemies, taking a lot of damage as well. But you see my health fighting right back. My health never goes down, and that is due to the sapper, which is super valuable. And you see, like a situation like that, if I had Vampire, I wouldn't be able to shoot grenades fast enough to deal with all that damage, which is one of the downfalls, I think, of spamming grenades for health steal, and that is why I like the sapper quite a bit for those situations. Now, by far, this is definitely not a bossing build, so for those who want to go ahead and one-shot Grave Ward and all those things, this is not the build for that by far. But if you guys do like to do Proving Grounds, Slaughter Shaft, or even the takedown, you guys can really do well at that. But nonetheless, guys, this is the run and gun version of a Moze build, and I think this is a really fun and fast-paced build for those who like to just shoot, be up in the enemy's face, do a lot of damage, and not worry about staying alive. This build does everything you need, except of course bossing. You can get away with killing bosses quite fast. I'm just saying that you will not like one-shot Grave Ward, for example, with this kind of build. You definitely will do a lot of damage to him, but definitely not one-shot him. So for those who are looking for that, this might not be the build for you. But for those who are looking for, again, a nice run and gun setup, get up in the enemy's faces, this is for you. So quickly, as of course you see in the gameplay, we're absolutely going ham, doing a lot of damage. We're using the Roland's Call. For those who don't know what this weapon is, I'm using, it's an assault rifle. Very good, Jacobs. And you see that we're doing a lot of damage, man. There's nothing else left to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. Again, if you guys like the video, please smash that like button for your boy, guys. Definitely subscribe to the channel, guys. I cannot emphasize enough, man. We have a lot coming to the channel soon, especially with Mayhem 2.0 coming out next week. You do not want to miss some of these really good builds that are going to help you guys get through all the Mayhems. It's going to be very hard, apparently, and you guys are going to want to have some of the best builds, so I definitely recommend that you guys come back to the channel, or at least give it a chance, because it might help you in the future, man, for some of those hard Mayhems to come next week. So, without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to see you in the next one. It's your boy, Scared Soldier, signing out. Peace.